Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honourable guests, welcome to... Hey, 50! Quite remarkable when you think about the way the industry's been. You'll notice Deca Dynamics, the professional training program flyer on your desk. They're coming up to do some training in July and August.
We are going to give you a lubricant, a social lubricant called Glenlivet. Come up, are you here? If you run out of beer, we may be looking for you. Let's give her a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
And the winner is Manny Ancheta. Very well deserved. The stock certificate is your proof of ownership. It invites you to the shareholders meeting. It allows you to vote on plans and proposals, maybe for expansion or contraction or alteration of the business line. And then it entitles you to a share of net profits, pesos cash dividends.
The last time, I mentioned something about the bamboo initiative that began here with a speech given to us by Secretary Simatu. We have to reinvent mining. Of course, that was his mandate from President. Spoke to the collaboration that had begun between the Department of Trade and Industry, the DNR, and the mining industry. Named him the most outstanding mining engineer. That again deserves an applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together again and help me welcome a friend and a much better than me golfer, the President and CEO of Philex Mining Corporation, Mr. Eulalio Yules Austin Jr.
Former DNR Secretary Horace Ramos, Mike Regino from TBI and sits as Board of Director of Philex Mining Corporation, Bradley Norman, Ian Moller, Sharon Flynn, Hiyuchi Ito, Mon Yason, Joey Ison of Pimea, Roger Dimel, Ronnie Residoro if you're around. Principal sponsors to this mining luncheon, foundation and principal partners of Philippine Mining Club, friends in the mining industry, media partners who are around, the Philex contingent, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Sincerest gratitude to the Philippine Mining Club for the invitation. Thank you, Kevin, for inviting me to speak to all of you. Turning 50 is no small feat, as I realized well some years ago. Traditionally, 50 is often referred to as the golden age, be it of a person, a company, or organization, or even an era. Because when one turns 50, he, she, or it is entering what is also referred to as the age of true happiness. I hope you all agree to that. According to a recent report of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, the Philippines ranked 69 out of 156 nations in the World Happiness Index. The Philippines climbed up 2 notches from last year's 71st. The report also showed that we ranked 12 among countries that showed highest increase in the level of happiness between the periods 2005 to 2008 and 2016 to 2018. Do these increases in the levels of happiness reflect that of the mining industry? We all know that the Supreme Court decided with finality on the validity and constitutionality of the Philippine Mining Act in February 2005. In the immediate years that followed, were years when Republic Act 7942, acknowledged as one of the best mining laws in the world, was allowed to be implemented. So much so that in 2008, a noted business columnist predicted in an article in the Philippine Star that a golden age in Philippine mining was coming. 2009 to 2011 can be considered good years for most. But we got Executive Order number 79 in 2012. And it seems everything became challenging after that. If the United Nations can track periods where levels of happiness increase, I wonder if they can also track periods where levels of happiness decrease. Because I'm pretty sure 2012 to 2014 would be up there. The second period with a noted increase in levels of happiness was in 2016 to 2018. We elected a new president. Yes, and a new hope that mining policy would change for the better. A policy that would do away for one with EO 79. But then a new environment secretary was appointed that further brought challenges to the industry. While her tenure was short-lived, her continuous ban on the open pit mining method still remains. Philex is considered as one of the longest running gold and copper producers in Southeast Asia, and its mine is located within the municipalities of Toba and Itogon, province of Benguet. If you ask any old-timer of Philex what the golden age of mining was in the company, they would point you to the 70s. For indeed, it was in the 70s that production, profitability, environmental protection, and social development flourished for the company. Thanks to the founders of the company for starting it the right way. It also entered the age of true happiness, together with the validity of the Philippine Mining Act and a new dawn for the industry. When our Padcal mine turned 50 in 2008, it also entered an age of true happiness, when the following period saw market prices at an all-time high. Our Padcal mine turned 60 just last year. And as most of us know or probably experience, when one turns 60, one enters the age of senior citizenship, oftentimes acknowledged as the age of retirement or retiring. The once hectic pace of life should be replaced with what is called a delicious sense of calm, confidence, and clarity of purpose. Our Padcal mine is settling into that delicious sense of calm. Its initial mine life was originally 2014, but we have extended it up to 2022, and we are vigorously pursuing studies that would maximize revenue generation from the remaining mine life of Padcal. Our Padcal mine will turn 65 by 2022. Padcal has a current workforce of 1,840. I remember that at one point when I was just a new mining engineer, and Padcal was employing method of ore extraction, the workforce was more than 1,000 regular employees. Philex Padcal generates an average annual revenue of 10 billion pesos or $200 million US. More importantly, the average annual taxes prior to the implementation of the train law in 2018 amount to around 1.2 billion pesos. Padcal also spends an average of 100 million pesos annually for social development and management programs, and 450 million pesos annually for environmental protection and enhancement program. To date, Philex, Padcal, and other mining properties were able to plant 10 million trees in more than 4,000 hectares of disturbed and undisturbed areas. Even before the DNR mandated ISO 14001 certification in 2015, our Padcal mine had already secured certification for its integrated management systems, or IMS. Facilities such as subsidence area, tailings storage facility, and mill area are intended to have a mixed final land use consisting of agroforestry, grazing land, or alternative crops, and ecotourism. Most of the impoundment area and embankment will be reclaimed with vegetation to allow livestock grazing or growing of vegetation. A video will be shown towards the end of my speech to show how we rehabilitated our Sibutad, Bulawan mines. Will be told and retold in our mining history. But we are proud to stand up that we rose over that unwanted incident. We faced the challenge, never ran away from our obligations, fixed the mess, and resumed operations. It was a humbling experience for us, but we have to prove that we are advocates of right and principled mining. We should not just be responsible miners if we want to change the image of the industry. Philex, on the other hand, now has also the opportunity to help usher in another golden age of the industry with our Silangan Mindanao mining project. The Silangan project, located in Surigao del Norte, consists of 3 deposits: Buyungan, Bayogo, and Kalayaan, the latter in a joint venture with Manila Mining Corporation. As of the moment, we are focusing our attention at our Buyungan ore body. Once the project is in full swing, it is expected to generate 8,000 direct and indirect jobs, raise 60 billion pesos in investments, contribute 31 billion pesos in taxes, and spend 6 billion pesos in community and social development throughout its productive life. This project will proceed with underground sub-level cave mining method. Requires an initial capex of $800 million and is set to commence operations by 2022. The Buyungan ore body will have 2.5 years of development and 21 years of commercial operation on top of its 2.5 years of development. It's a very challenging task as we need to put on stream Silangan before the closure of Padcal. The Silangan feasibility studies took some time as we need to undertake further geotechnical and hydrogeological field investigations so that we could fully understand ground and water conditions. Additional hydrogeology holes were drilled to understand the source and flow of water, and additional geotechnical holes were also drilled to have a more detailed geotech model and at the same time have enough data to simulate the operational stresses during the mining process and come up with appropriate ground supports. As a result of our geotechnical and hydrogeological investigations, sub-level caving presents itself to be a better method rather than block caving. Besides, the mining of oxide in sulfide parts of the ore body plays a very crucial factor in maximizing the value of the asset. Feasibility studies were completed in partnership with Ausenco, a world-renowned engineering consultancy group out of Brisbane, Australia. Services of other engineering firms, experts in tailings pond design and construction, hydrogeology, and geotech were also tapped. Our years of underground experience at Padcal were also a major input in all these studies. Overall, the hydrogeology and geotechnical field investigations costs for Silangan constitute a big cost on our feasibility studies because we want all the bases covered and mitigate the risk that could be encountered during the operational stage. Silangan Mindanao Mining is currently working on securing all the necessary permits and approvals. We are currently working towards the approval of our ECC for sub-level cave mining method in the submission of our Declaration of Mine Project Feasibility or DMPF. We continue to have the support of the host communities and LGUs since the start of the project. Based on their Asia Mining Risk and Reward Index, the Philippines only scored 42.6. In that, we find the strength and the perseverance to rise up to the challenge and improve. Believe that the best is yet to come for the mining industry. Thank you and a pleasant afternoon. The video of our Sibutad and Bulawan mines rehabilitation will be shown before I entertain questions. Is that possible?
Our country is blessed with an abundance of mineral resources, some of which undiscovered, many remain untapped. We believe that the conservation of our natural resources is a powerful means to secure the future of the next generations. As a responsible, right and principled mining company, we commit to safeguard the environment and be a partner in nation building. In the past, the mining operations of the Bulawan and Sibutad mine projects changed the natural landscape. Through the company's Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, we have succeeded in transforming the industrial areas into rich and lush forests. The Bulawan project had a mine footprint of 147 hectares. Today, the landscape is covered by over 1 million trees that support a rich biodiversity. What was once a tailings store facility is now a bird sanctuary for wild ducks and other waterfowls. The Environmental Rehabilitation Program did not only transform an industrial complex into a revitalized ecosystem, it also developed an alternative productive land use through agroforestry together with our partner communities. The mine decommissioning program ensured that community members are presented opportunities for their livelihood. Industrial and other open areas such as silt ponds were transformed to be agriculturally productive. Ponding only rainwater, the tailings storage facility also supports an aquaculture project. Open pits are now an expanse of forest that is teeming with wildlife. Our commitment to sound environmental management practices drove us to do beyond what was required of us. Similarly, our story was replicated in Sibutad. We believe that community partnership is the key to environmental conservation and social development. Through concerted effort and science-based interventions, we helped restore nature to reach its potential and beauty. What used to be mining facilities many years ago is now a rich forest ecosystem. The former industrial areas is now an ecotourism site. Mining facilities are now cradled by lush forest vegetation. We were bound not only by the commitment we made, but also by a promise of opportunities. We helped the surrounding communities also renew their chance at life after mine. We helped encourage agroforestry through various land productivity efforts. Sibutad Project Ridge to Reef Environment Management approach is a testimony of responsible mining. Our efforts are at par with the world's best practices. As we continue to pursue excellence, we truly believe that there is life in right and principled mining. This is what we stand for. This is what we are about. This is what we do. We are Philex Mining Corporation.
Question, kindly give your name and your affiliation, and what you do with the company.
Obviously, with the initial program, Silangan being a surface mining operation, and then reverting to underground operations, I just wondered if you could discuss some of the main challenges and solutions that you guys found from that process of switching from surface to underground operations. Thank you. I'm Ryan Cairns from Reflex.
In the driving of the decline, we lack thorough information on how the groundwater behaves. That's why in this new project that we're doing from open pit to underground, we made it a point that we drilled the additional hydrogeology holes so that we could more or less model how groundwater behaves underground.
In respect of the Silangan project, what are the major concerns that have been expressed by the local community, and how have you addressed those concerns?
The secret behind that is we started engaging the community since the start, and we were very transparent to them that these are the issues that we will be encountering once the mining operations is on full swing. And so that they could believe to our words, we brought the key people of Surigao to our mine site at Padcal to see how it looks like to operate a mine, show the benefits of having a mining company and the improvements that it would bring to the community.
I know that you have quite a number of projects, coffee for instance, with the community. My question is, since your land tenure in the area is only or expires when your mine life expires, can those coffee projects continue? And if so, on what legal grounds do the communities that are working on those projects have in terms of the use of that land? Who gives that?
The livelihood or the alternative livelihood that we are offering, such as the coffee plantation, is located in the vicinity of the mine site.
Outside the area.
Outside our areas. That's why the areas are owned by the people that we are teaching how to plant coffee and how to harvest coffee. That's why they own the land. Our only purpose is to teach them to how to plant coffee, come up with a bountiful harvest, and we just help them market their products.
Let me give you some background on that question, because we were talking about the bamboo projects. The bamboo, as we are discussing now with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, will be used as an alternative to trees for the revegetation of mined out areas. So the planting will be done over areas that are within the tenure, right, of the mining project. And the idea is that that bamboo will be harvested from time to time and be fed to the community, who through SDMP will be taught how to manufacture products with the help of the Department of Trade and Industry of high value and for export and so on. The question that arose in our first meeting at the DNR was, those areas where we're going to be planting bamboo are obviously not neighboring, but actually within the mining project. And I'm happy to report that from the DNR side, somebody raised the point. What are we going to do to those areas and the projects running in the mining community after the end of the mine life? And Secretary Simato said, we have to look into how we can extend the life of those projects outside and beyond the mining project lifespan, which is a very interesting point, because the government itself is already, I actually had the question in my mind, is actually thinking about how do we allow the communities to continue using the bamboo that the mining project has planted in government land beyond the tenure of the mining project. So that's an indication that the DNR is thinking about these issues. So just point of information. Any other questions? Yeah.
Padcal is distinct because most of the industrial areas, we don't own the land, we are just leasing the land.
Privately owned.
Or privately owned. That's why after the end of the tenure of the mining project, the land would go back to them. That's why in terms of the tailing span number 1, where we did bamboo plantation, there are surface owners that we are just leasing the land. Therefore, at the end of mine life, they own the bamboos.
Does your community do anything with the bamboo right now?
Really, they're the caretakers of the bamboo.
Caretakers. We should bring the DTI there to teach them what to do with the bamboo. Anyway, any more questions from the floor? There being none, let me bring this Q&A to a close, and please join me by putting your hands together to thank Yules for his presentation. This is actually an important luncheon because it is the 50th luncheon. Do you know that I was also born in 1955, so I'm as old as your mind. Very important. All right, so our speaker for the 51st Philippine Mining Club Luncheon in August the 9th is to be announced. So keep an eye on your inbox for our mailers and check the website for more details. I'd like to say at this point that I have seen the list of forthcoming speakers. I'm not going to announce them yet, but they will be very interesting. Now, for the green message Please leave your badges behind. Don't take them home with you. We need to recycle that good plastic. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring this to a close and invite you all to stay for the networking hour, which will be from now till 3 o'clock. Thank you very, very much, and have a good weekend.